Imagine scoring 3.3 in Jamb. People are already calling you scholar. Parents are already bragging about you. You even feel like the admission is already guaranteed. But then, Post UTME comes and you fail. That was me last year. So if you are preparing for Post UTME right now, listen carefully because I'm about to share 5 deadly mistakes that cost me admission last year. And the number one thing I'll do differently if I were writing Post UTME this year. If you are serious about crushing this exam, stick with me to the end because this video might save you the heartbreak I went through. Alright, let's dive in. My first mistake was overconfidence. Because of the praises from my teachers and peers, I got carried away. I started sitting at the back of the class, even when there were empty seats in front. Sometimes, when I couldn't see what was written on the board from where I sat, instead of moving forward or asking a friend, I'll just close my book, leave it, and start practicing past questions. If I did not understand the lecture, I would always ask the teacher or his fellow classmate to explain. You know why? Because I didn't want to ruin my steez now. I kept telling myself, I'll figure it out when I get home. But by the time I got home, I had either forgotten about it or was buried in other work. Here's the lesson. Confidence without humility is dangerous. Always stay teachable. Asking for help doesn't make you less smart. It helps you progress faster. So if you're preparing now, don't let praises distract you. Put in the same energy you use for Jamb or even more into Post UTME. Because the truth is, the examiner doesn't care about your confidence. It rewards your preparation. Even if you score 350 in Jamb, if you don't humble yourself and study like you are behind, you are setting yourself up for failure. Don't make my mistake. My second mistake was ignoring mock exams. Our lecturer usually prepare monthly mock to keep us sharp. But me, I skipped them. I thought mock were just stress or money-making scheme, so I ignored them until it was just 3 months left before the real Post UTME. When I finally sat for one, I will never forget what happened the next day. The teacher started calling out the top scorers. My mates were waiting to hear my name, but it never came. The silence was so embarrassing, I had to go downstairs to check the list myself. I was shocked at how badly I had dropped. That single moment humbled me, but it also motivated me to push harder. The lesson here is simple. Treat every practice like it's the real deal. Mock exams are not a waste of time. They are mirrors showing you your weak spots early. Use them well. Train under the pressure. If you can master mock exams, you will walk into the exam hall confident and ready. And if you're still doubting this, ask yourself, if Post UTME was actually today, will you pass? If not, my dear, it's time to start taking mock seriously. And stick around because the fourth mistake is something most students are unaware of, but it slowly kills our motivation during prep. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. And that brings us to the third mistake I made, which was using the wrong study materials. After I was humbled my mock results and decided to buckle up, I panicked. I started moving closer to the students that took their mock exam. Even though some actually got less than 300 in Jamb, they showed me the textbook they were using. I rushed and bought the one I could lay my hands on, and even got random PDFs from them. I abandoned my class notes and even textbooks that worked for me in Jamb, all because I was trying to cover these new ones, which ended up capturing my focus because I was spreading myself too thin, and my solid Jamb foundation started weakening. The lesson here is, stick to what works for you. Don't switch to random resources because of panic or peer pressure. Prioritize reliable textbook from trusted sources, school Post UTME past questions, and smart practice. You can add extra material from your mate later, but they should support your prep, not replace your course strategy. Remember, success isn't about reading everything. It's about focusing on the right material with the right energy and at the right time. Now, moving on to the fourth mistake, which a lot of students don't realize they are making, is indecision. For me, my biggest indecision during my prep was whether I really wanted medicine for myself. Deep down, I knew I was forcing myself into it because I felt like, for a student like me that got 3.0 in Jamb, medicine is the most stable course now. Like, you don't expect me to go and study pharmacy when I got such a high Jamb score. And because of the job security it promised, you know the outcome teachers now. When you study medicine, your future is guaranteed. There is no way you can study medicine and be broke. So me too, I believed that and kept forcing myself to study medicine. But the problem was, whenever I was studying during prep, and I pictured myself in that field, facing blood, handling surgeries, opening people's stomach, and instant fear would creep in. Instead of confronting that fear, I would distract myself by scrolling through my phone, watching motivational reels, listening to a podcast or audiobook, and avoid focusing on the exam that was right in front of me. So the lesson here is clarity fuels discipline. If you don't have a solid reason for why you are chasing a goal, distraction will always win. That is where, are you preparing for Post UTME? You need to be 100% sure about why you choose your course. When you are clear on your why, it becomes easier to push through the pain and boredom. But if you're unsure, no matter how good your teachers or your textbook is, your mind will constantly search for excuses to avoid studying, to get clear first and lock in. And finally, the last mistake, which was not managing my energy. Now, this one really affected me because everyone was bragging about how much they studied. Some would say, I read 8 hours yesterday. Others will claim that they study all night without sleep. And I felt like, if this is how medical students survive, I better start training myself now. So I forced myself to read almost every night, even when there was no need. Sometimes I would try to cover all 4 subjects in one night. At first, I thought I was working hard, but in reality, I was just destroying myself. Soon, my head started declining. During lectures, I would find myself dozing off. And I remembered I could not even study for a certain period of time because I was burnt out. The lesson here is, don't compare yourself. Everyone has their own pace. Focus on your progress and not their noise. So please, don't copy other people's style. Your body, your brain, your rhythm is different. Find what works for you. Stick to it and rest when you need to. What matters is your daily effort, not comparison. Remember, studying smart will always beat studying to impress. Let's recap quickly so you don't forget. The first mistake was overconfidence. Please, stay humble and stay teachable, regardless of your Jamb score. 2. Ignoring mock exam. Mocks are not stress, they are preparation. 3. Using the wrong materials. Prioritize using reliable textbook and your school past question as your core strategy, after which you can add some extra tea from your mate to support your prep. 4. Indecision. Get clear on why you choose your course. And 5. Not managing your energy. Please, rest, recharge, and find what works for you. If you can avoid these 5 mistakes, I can assure you that you are already ahead of most students. For those of you still watching, it's time for the bonus. Remember, I promised to share the number 1 thing I do differently if I write Post UTME this year. Well, here it is. If there is one thing I wish I had done earlier, it was to find a mentor among my teachers and build a close relationship with him or her. Not just as a student and teacher relationship, but as someone who is guiding you through the process. Let me tell you why this matters. There was a guy in our lecture last year who scored 95 in Post UTME. Impressive, right? Now, to be honest with you guys, it was hardworking. But he also had a mentor among our teachers who personally guided him. He knew exactly where to focus on, how to structure his practice, and which topic to study intensively. That guidance gave him an edge that self-study alone wouldn't have. So, here is your action step. Don't just attend class passively. Identify what teacher you respect, ask questions, and seek their mentorship. Even if all you could get is guidance on how to prioritize your time, that clarity is what's good. Think about it. Why study blindly when someone who has seen hundreds of students succeed and fail can guide you? This single step can raise your score more than cramming 10 random PDFs. Look, Jamb must stop, but Post UTME is a different game entirely. You need to learn how to work hard and smart. If you score high in Jamb, congratulations, but don't get too comfortable. And if you score lower, don't panic. Smart preparation of big national talents. So here's my challenge to you. Pick your study materials tonight, put your study timetable, and schedule your mock exams. Find your reason for choosing this admission. Get a mentor to sharpen your strategy. And lastly, don't forget the spiritual side. Take time to pray, and even set a day aside to fast for your exam success. Not just asking for good results, but for focus, wisdom, and peace while preparing. Pairing faith with hard work is powerful. I can assure you, if you do this, you will walk into the exam hall confident, sharp, and ready to crush it. If this video helped you, leave a comment about the mistake you've been making. Let's help each other grow. And don't forget to like, share this with a friend who is praying for Post UTME, and subscribe for more tips. Because your future starts now. Wishing you all success in your exam, and I'll see you in the next video.